Two. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. I am Cedric Bailey. Welcome to another edition of Dunbar Wildcats football, where we have with us the head coach, Coach Todd Lawson. How you doing?
All right, good morning, Cedric. Doing fine.
Great, great. Hey, did you check out that game last night between the Lakers and Miami?
I just watched some of it, and then at the ending, we had that evening practice. I knew we had to get back up early this morning, so I kind of went on to bed. So,
I'm going to give you two hints. It's over.
oh yeah, yeah.
Over. That's all I got to say. But anyway, let's talk football. How did practice go on yesterday on this?
Everything went well. The offense looked pretty good yesterday, and the defense had a good practice this week. And the main thing we just got to do is just to make sure, like I just tell the kids, this is just going to come down to you just doing your job, doing what you're supposed to do. And as long as we can hold up, we'll be fine. But it's just the mental side of it. Definitely when you're playing a team like this with the wing T, there's just things that you just have to do. Right when you think you got it figured out, somebody will do what they're not supposed to or try to do too much. And like we just telling them, man, just believe in your teammates and we'll be fine.
This week's opponent is the Kennedale Wildcats. You've known Richard Barrett for quite a long time, and it's a good thing to have a type of opponent like that in your backyard. Because when you look at the talent for the schools in Fort Worth ISD, we can only just count a handful that that's on the level. Because you want to make sure you play a schedule where you're able to compete when you go in the next level. You
Yes.
proved that. I remember your team a few years ago when you went out there to Birdville and upset them. Was that
Yeah.
a few years ago? That
Yes,
that
that was a few years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good moment.
Uh-huh. And it's just going out there and playing and just doing what you're supposed to do. And then if we go out there and we just execute offensively what we're supposed to do, that's going to put pressure on teams. And like we said, if we can just keep pressure on them, then they'll kind of do some things that are uncharacteristic for them. But if you kind of sit back and don't do it and making mistakes, and then they just allow to do what they want to do, then it becomes a very difficult game because now they get to play with you and do things that they're comfortable with and kind of run trickery stuff and just have fun with the game. But if we can keep pressure on them, like they try to put on us, then we'll be fine.
Let's talk about some of their players. What we got to watch for. Who are they?
Well, one of the main ones are offensively, we got to always identify their free safety number 22, which is Coffee. He's a kid that has played varsity for the last 4 years. He's ranked in the state. He's verbally committed to University of Texas. So that's a guy we got to kind of keep an eye on because he's a guy that's really that captain where he kind of comes up and be very supportive in the run, and then he's a lot of support in the passing game as well because he'll be back there. They're a man up. And like if our quarterback just come back there and he just looks one way, he will cover some ground and get over there and get into play. So we kind of got to keep our eye on him, and just do, like I say, just do the things, whatever he decide to do. We got some guys that out there. We just get him in some one-on-one situations as well, and kind of just see, that's some uncomfortable for him because they do blitz a lot. So we got to really get the ball out of there fast and kind of get it in the secondary and just kind of get one-on-one with them. Now they do have a few, good couple of linebackers, but they're real good blitzers as well. They're real good blitzers. So we just gotta, when they come cheating up to the line, we got to know what our checks are and what we need to be doing, and then just check to that and just let the game throw. Like I tell the guy, I don't have a problem with, when they come into those blitz, we get a 5 or 6 yard gain. And one thing that we have been able to do this year, we've been unable to do previously, is that we put together some drives, where we've had 14 play drives, 15 play drives in games that we don't normally have those kind of drives. And that's a big plus as well.
Let's talk about your coaching staff from what they've been able to do. Let's go with your offense first. We got to break down your offensive line and
Okay.
your staff.
Okay, well, the offensive line coach is Coach Spruhan. He's been with me a few years, and then I have a new coach, Coach Dewan Johnson from Nebraska. He's doing a great job with our guys. I got some good sized linemen, but they're young, so they're kind of coming along at a really good rate. Really, I was expecting them to really, kind of where they are now. I really expected that to be next year, where they can kind of gel together, and there's a lot of them, and a lot of them will be coming back. And I got some young freshmen linemen in as well. I got like eight guys, right? Over 250 on the freshman squad. So that's a building block right there, the building that we need, and because that's the hardest thing now is to get those linemen. As far as the running backs, I have Coach Nelson Akawande, who's doing a great job with our backs. We right now we have about 6 running backs back there, that are pretty really, really shouldn't say pretty good, but they're really good. They can be very special. My bigger guys are more of the fullback type guys. They're seniors, but all the other guys are either juniors or sophomores. And then again, I have another group of young freshman running backs that are coming up as well that are very talented, good speed and things like that. So we kind of see ourselves turning that corner. So with our skill guys, where we kind of been lacking for a while, where they may have been pretty good, but wasn't as fast and things of that nature. So when we able to make a team pay, normally when we make a team pay or they make mistakes, we score instead of getting the first down. So that was something really big and different. We have Coach Blaze, which he kind of moves around, work with the receivers. He's been my offensive coordinator, here for every year that I've been. He's been here 13 years, and he's been with me again. That's a Dunbar grad, and he kind of bring in that mentality of Dunbar, things that we were brought up as Dunbar alumni, on the community, the school, and all the meaning that goes behind that, and understand. You hear people talk about a HBCU, but we actually went to a high school that was very similar to that as well. So we kind of bring back a lot of that stigma, the things of that nature, to help our kids to understand how special they really are to be at a school like Paul Lawrence Dunbar. And then I work with the quarterbacks and things like that as well.
So that means you're working with Slim, which is Dorian.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And Slim's coming along. Yeah, Dorian Carr, he's coming along real well. He's coming along, like, again, you know, um, it's kind of a catch-22 with the COVID and all of those type of things that came in, but that allowed us to have a lot more individual time with him. So he's kind of blossom a lot more. So again, he was one of them we was really expecting to make big steps next year. But due to having that time and putting that time in, he showed a lot of leaps and bounds. So we're kind of looking at it that when we start next year, where we at right now and where we'll be completing, we'll be able to begin the season next year at this point, as far as the play calling, the checks, and all of that. So that really puts us ahead of the game, going into next year. But we still got this year to tend with. So we kind of putting a lot more information on him, and he's taking it real well and getting his reads. Everybody has some mistakes and stuff there. But like I tell him, when you do have those mistakes, they just have small mistakes. Once you have it, hey, we talk about it, correct it, and we move on to the next thing.
Gotcha. And let's talk about your defense now, your defensive coordinators and
Okay.
your linebacker coaches and your
Okay, well, one of the Oklahoma boys is Coach Chris Woodall, which he's been with me. He was previously at high school like Castleberry. He worked at some other high schools, and then he came in at our middle school. So he kind of know these kids from the 6th grade on up, and then he's been up here with me for the last 5 or 6 years. But he was down at the middle school for another 6 years as well. So he's been around me for a while. So he kind of he knows the kids. He's doing a great job with them. He basically works with the linebackers. And then my other co-defensive coordinator is Coach Mario Hill. Coach Mario Hill has been with me about 10 years. He works with the D line, very energetic guy. So he does a great job with the defensive line as far as the technique and all of those types of things. And then in the secondary, I have a Coach Reuben Vaughan. Coach Reuben Vaughan coached he's a kid, I should say kid, a young man that graduated from O.D. Wyatt. He went off and played defensive line at TCU, and he coached in the college ranks at TCU, at Texas A&M, at Texas. So he brings a wealth of knowledge, and he works with the secondary. So and he's our special teams coordinator. So I got a good group of coaches over there, and again, they've been able during this time. They've been able to kind of put a lot more time in dealing with those kids individually, not only just on the playing field, but a lot of the things are just talking with our young guys about becoming young men and understand the responsibility of becoming a young man. So, and I always tell them, if you're doing those things and becoming a positive young man in the right manner, all this other stuff will take care of itself.
yes, you're right. And by the way, we got to recognize your receivers too, number one and number three. We got to talk about those
Oh
guys.
yeah. Number one is a senior Mike. Mike is a real good basketball player as well.
Mhm.
And he'll, they gonna be doing some things. They really picked to go do real well this year in basketball. He's a point guard in basketball, um, but he was all district as a receiver last year. So he's doing real well. He's having a good year. So we able to kind of get him the ball, and he can run deep, getting deep and getting open and things like that. And then the number three is Aaron Connolly. Really, he's our best defensive back. He's a very good cornerback. He's one of our top cornerbacks in the area. If you watch him play and see how he's able to shut people down, and he's a former basketball player. He's a former basketball player. So those two, they kind of go. So we can get the ball, sit down. We got a couple other receivers, Jamal Muhammad. Those are kind of tall, lanky guys, which are doing real well. And I got a couple of young guys out there too. Jonathan Gonzalez, he's doing a real good job. He's a sophomore, real good feet, things of that nature. We have a running back that we use as the slot when we go spread, which is a Miguel Cook, was a very, guy with a lot of speed and a lot of agility to make people miss. So we got a good group of guys. We got a good group of guys that'll be coming back next year, and kind of some of the old mixed with the young. And one thing about those guys that I just mentioned, like Mike and Aaron, they have good leadership skills, where you have younger guys that kind of flock to them and want to play for them, because when they do something good, those guys are over there. First ones over there, they're just as happy for them as they would be for themselves if they was making those plays. So it's great to have leadership like that out there when you have guys like that on the field, because not only you're trying to lift the kids up and lift them around on the sideline, but you got guys on the field that is doing that as well.
Gotcha. We talked about COVID and everything, and we're normally used to having the big parades and homecoming, everything with COVID, and now you got to order your tickets and get them online. Is that right as well?
Yes, and that's good you brought that up, because we got to make sure we get that out to the parents and to the people, the alumni that wants to go to the game, because our stadiums are still at half capacity. And that's just one where they can keep up with the count and stuff like that of the people that are coming in. But you could go online on the Fort Worth. You can just do FWISD. You can just Google FWISD tickets, and it'll take you to that actual website where you can actually just go in and click in and get your tickets. You can either print it out or just leave it on your phone and just show them your phone when you get to the game, and they can scan that in and get you in the game. But they have a policy where you have to be 6 feet apart. If you bring in any bags, they have to be clear bags and things of that nature. You must wear your mask and all of that. So they're still pushing a lot of those health issue things there. So we just got to fall in line and just go ahead and do those things.
All right. Now, listen, for the moms and the grandmas that can't come out because understand for COVID, we will be broadcasting the game.
Yes.
Do it on our sister station. I have two stations, the BGC Sports, and then also we have, of course, rejoice1110.com. On Friday, I will post a link, and that what you all have to do is just click it on Facebook, and we will rebroadcast it later on. But we want you to be able to listen to it live. And I got Ken Williams, who's an official. He's going to be there, and we're going to have our photographer, David Pearson. He's going to be taking pictures for our kids. And you know what? We owe it to them. In the world we live in today, is so much drama. We just saw the debates the other day, and if we ask the president, do we mean anything? He's going to tell you, no, y'all don't. We're not even going to recognize you. So guess
Yeah.
what? We're going to recognize our own kids. We're going to show them the love because we want them to go to college and graduate and be successful and come back home, be coaches and do the best thing. And that's what it's all about. I want to say hello to Nick Rockwall, man. Nick been checking us out too as well, man. And he played ball at Oak State. You guys had some guys come out. You know what I mean, Coach?
Exactly. And again, those are kids that I went through here and doing great things. And I always mess with them, and they come through. Like Ashton just came through. Ashton Lampkin, he came through this past week, and just kind of poke his head and see how everything's going. He said he's going to try to make the game tomorrow night. So and that's the thing about it. They come back, and that's all that I asked of them to do, is that once they finish and they graduate, I always ask them, just give me 5 years. And they know what that means, and that's to just stay out of trouble, stay off paper. That's what and if you're in the inner city, you know what I mean? If we could just keep you off paper for that 5 years, you really got a good chance of being a very successful and productive young man. Yeah, so we talk about those things, and they come back and talk to the kids about those things, about, life, how things are pretty different, once you graduate and things of that nature. So like I tell the kids, if you don't believe in what I'm saying, or you kind of have your doubts, those guys that come in, and one thing about it, if I call them and say, hey, I need you to talk to this young man, they'll stop what they're doing and they'll call and just talk to them, and just to help them out as much as they possibly can. But like you mentioned, Nick was one of those guys that he started all of that. And I just laugh at him because he just, he's into real estate and things like that. And, we have, like, his former players that played here with him. It's like 6 guys have bought homes from him, and I say that's just kind of, keeping that team concept in there, and where they're just building their own self-worth among themselves because they know each other real well. And that's a very positive thing for them. Very positive. You never, very seldom ever hear anything like that. But those are things that they can come talk to our kids about, the young men about, the real world and what's going on out there. And they're hearing it from someone that they know, that they heard about, that went through the same streets and things that they did. So that's a great opportunity for a lot of them.
All right. Well, our objective is this Friday night is to beat Kennedale.
Yes,
And
sir.
I tell you what, we'll tailgate afterwards. So get ready,
Yeah.
Wildcats versus Wildcats. The game is going down 7 o'clock. Remember, it's going to be at Farrington Field in downtown Fort Worth. So
Yes, sir.
look forward to getting there. As a matter of fact, I remember several games back in the day. And shout outs to the head coach over there, Wide Zach Chris. He's Dunbar, him and his brother.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We have a quite a bit. Zach, and then we have Anthony. Anthony over there at Sam Houston. So we have some, and then I have some former players who are down in the Houston area who's coaching. So I got, so we all get, and that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it, because I just kind of laugh at them and talk to them. But that's the thing about it, because I know I can call them and say, like, hey, what's going on, and they can pretty much help me.
Yeah, we can't forget about Daddy Chris now, Mr.
Oh
Woodall.
yeah. Oh no, yeah, that's the starter. So when you say that Daddy Chris, you automatically know how, and he's doing well. And normally let me see. Normally the games that we were having, if Juan's not playing with his son, he'd normally poke his head in there. He kind of sits down about a scoreboard and things of that nature, and then he'll call him and say, hey, this and that and this and that. But it's good to have people like that around you, because when you kind of need that extra push, or you need that positive, they're always around, and they'll say something positive, or they'll call you, and man, just hang in there. You headed in the right direction, and you need those things. You need those things at times. So he's very helpful and very influential, with him, and even the coach over at Cedar Hill, Carlos. A lot of those coaches was
I got
called.
the picture right here. That's what we attire.
Yeah, I mean, you just get it. I mean, they just get a call. I mean, just get a call. Hey, man, hey, good job, and things of that nature. You just get a call from them, which is real good. It's good when you have coaches like that, just thinking about you and see what you're trying to do, and just as a group, that's a good thing. And really, that's the love of coaching and being around the sport, because you get people in there like that the best, want the best for all kids, but they're kind of very supportive and helping you achieve the things that you want to achieve. So.
Well, next week we'll let you know the status, because we're going to be off for about a week or two or so.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah. And I'm looking to schedule another game, not actually next week, but what is that, the 15th or 16th of October. So I'm really looking to try to schedule a game, get a game in during that time, to kind of keep us just ready, because I'm afraid of that 2 week layoff like that.
Yeah, yeah, got to keep them busy. And by the way, I forgot to ask, how's your JV doing? Because they're going to play
Now the
too.
JV is doing that. That's going to be a big game with them, because they're undefeated as well. So my
Really?
JV is undefeated. Yes.
And
So
that's
they're
going to be
doing real well.
yeah.
Okay, I couldn't hear you on that.
The JV game. Where will that be at on this Thursday?
Okay, that'll be over at Kennedale. That'll be at 6:30. Now I have posted you have to buy those tickets online as well. I have posted that on Facebook, to get those tickets.
All right, gotcha. All right. Well, good luck, Coach. We'll be there to cover the game. I'll be a Wildcat. Who be you? I'll be a
Happy
Wild.
Wildcat too. Got to make sure that ain't no Kennedale folks in that.
Hey, we out of here. Coach Todd Lawson hanging out with us here. I'm Cedric Bailey. Thanks a lot. And go Wildcats. And I'm talking about Dunbar Wildcats.
Dunbar Wildcats, PLD. All right, thank you, Cedric. Appreciate that.
So much more to come. So keep it right here.